What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Piston Productions. As always, my name's Jacob, and oh man, this hair's brutal. This week I wanted to, I know it's been a bit, and I apologize, I'm trying to get things done. Garrett's actually got some stuff going on with his build, so that might be more interesting to you. But what I wanted to talk about today is actually my office, like where I work, where I do videos. Obviously I do videos for more than just Piston Productions now. This is where it all started, is with this channel, but it has now allowed me to do videos for a lot of other people, so that's super cool. But that also means that just working kind of like off a laptop, which I still technically do, wasn't really feasible anymore. I actually need to build myself a proper studio. And this is, it's not proper by any means, but it's super low budget, and it's something that pretty much anybody can do. So that's why I wanted to show you guys this is, you know, I mean, if you are into making videos or content or whatever, or you just want a space for you, it doesn't have to be super expensive. I have invested some good money in certain things, but overall, minus one or two items, it's really, really cheap. Everything is as inexpensive as it could be. I don't like spending a lot of money on certain things when I think I don't need to, and yeah, so that's what I wanted to show you guys today is, I mean, how can you build a really low-cost studio workspace, recording area, whatever. Okay, so this is essentially the setup, kind of looking in, and we'll talk about the curtain stuff in a minute, but what you may not know is where this actually is in my house, and this is in the basement where the kids play. What's up?
What?
Anyways, so this is kind of looking in from the basement, so I am actually directly below my kitchen, so when I do podcasts and stuff, everybody in my house has to stay out of the kitchen. So to talk about all like the inexpensive stuff, almost everything that I buy that I can, I try and get used. This chair, I think it was $100 is what I paid for it. Just a big gaming chair. Got that whole slide out footrest thing, which is absolutely killer because I like to sit and cross my legs. This is kind of my view from sitting. Well, I guess I can actually do it. Minus, I apologize for all like the lighting stuff, but it is very dark in here because I'm in the basement and that one tiny window is my only natural light. So essentially this is kind of my view, and this is the laptop. This is where I've done everything on for the last couple of years. Republic of Gamers laptop, nothing crazy, just has like I think it's an i7, yeah it is. i7 7th gen, so nothing too nuts, integrated graphics card. So it does the trick, it has done the trick, and I recommend to anybody if you're going to get into video editing, this is actually not a bad idea. I'm sure there's people out there like, oh no, you should buy this or buy that. Getting a older gaming laptop, I think this is a year old when I bought it, it's done everything for me that I ever wanted. The only thing it struggles with is 4K. Which actually, now that I think about it, that's what I'm recording this in, so it's going to struggle with this too. And then from there, this monitor here, this vertical one that desperately needs a cleaning, this used to be my secondary monitor. That used to sit where this giant one is now. And that's what I used up until probably about a month ago, before I got that monster. And it's worked absolutely stupendous. Once again, nothing crazy. Not even an HDMI monitor. It was a VGA monitor that I adapted over. But it allowed me to have more space to work. This is where I did the majority of my editing, and then I had space up there for other things. Moving on from there, I have just an old-ass TV on the wall, old Sony. I use this to kind of like, I'll watch back videos on it just to see how it looks on a bigger, older screen. Obviously, everybody watches stuff on their phone, but I wanted to make sure that I kind of had my bases covered. And then from there, so once again, inexpensive, super cheap. That was super cheap. You can get that from any secondhand store for less than $100. We'll talk about the expensive stuff in a minute. All this desking and stuff. So I'm actually in, well, I guess I can show you. I am actually in the cold cellar of my house. So as you can see down there, that dark and gloomy cold cellar, that is all my cold storage, all my, you know, COVID goods and stuff like that, on my toilet paper. That's all behind the black curtain. So this was just old benching from that. All this shelving unit used to wrap around, and then I took it all out because I wanted to make my office. So as you can tell, like even down here, it's not done. I'm by no means done, but I'm done enough that I'm able to work in here and get stuff done. Even the stain, I got this stain from like a construction used, I don't know what the hell they're called. You know what I mean? Like they drop off old construction stuff. That's where I got this from, the stain for this, and I didn't even really know the color. I just knew it was stained, so I bought it. It was a couple of bucks, nothing crazy. Same thing with all this stuff. There's a website called Vipon, Vipon, and they do discounted items. Like you can try stuff early for reviews. I bought both of these from Vipon. They were like $2, $3, giant pad, giant gaming mouse or mouse heat pad thing. All really, really inexpensive stuff. Even, up on the wall. So I've got hanging up just some of my gear. This is what I shoot drifting with. I've talked about in other videos. My Zios, or however you pronounce it, crane thingy, gimbal. Once again, secondhand. Bought it secondhand. These are actually old racking for the slot and groove like racks you have in your garage. That's what these are. And all I did is where the holes were, I just screwed right into the wall, and that's what I hold up those with. And this is actually a piece of radiator hose that I normally have my monopod in. So there you go. Like, just to kind of show you, it's nothing fancy, but for a couple of bucks, you can't really beat it. Moving on from there. Okay, so even this printer, this is an HP NV 5010, however they label it. When you get HPs, you can sign up for their ink program where they just send you ink as you need it, and you pay like a monthly fee. I did the math. For the amount that I print, this is significantly cheaper than buying ink cartridges at like 50, 60 bucks a pop. I bought some good photo paper for my miniature gallery, which you'll see in a minute. And yeah, and then behind that, I just have some, if you can even see it, some external hard drives. That's what I store everything kind of in a year by year. They're connected in through a whole bunch of wiring that's underneath the desk. I try not to have wires when I can help it. So yeah, this is, once again, speakers. I prefer to invest in better headphones, but I just have a set of Logitech speakers there. I think I got them at a Goodwill, and they just, they're just there to make noise. There is actually a ton of wiring that's all hidden under the desk, but I've tried to get everything condensed down so that way when I have to leave to go on a trip, I can just unplug a few things and then we're good to go. I do have a pretty decent mouse. I think it was $100 and something bucks. G903. I like having lots of buttons. I like using hotkeys when I edit, and I like to mix between my left hand and my right hand, so that way one doesn't kind of get fatigued, and plus I find I can work faster. So like what I'll have on my mouse is like my cut and delete and splice tool and stretch tool on my hotkeys. Like I showed you those brackets up there. I don't even know what this bracket is from, but I found it and it fits several pairs of headphones. So that right there became my like headphone hanger thingy dealy. What else is super cheap? Oh, if you listen to Pissnhead podcasts, slight plug, this is my podcasting setup. So normally what I'll do is flip that bad boy up like that. It's probably all blown out. Put my pop filter in front of it. Probably needs a cleaning. And yeah, that's basically how I record. I can see everybody on the screens, do all that stuff. But this is just a Neewear Amazon special. It wasn't expensive. Used the same one for a few years now. And if you listen to the show, it doesn't sound half bad. When I talk about buying things that like spend the money when you need to, I didn't see a need to spend a whole bunch of money because it was just like podcasts need to sound good, but there is definitely a point of diminishing returns. So, and then actually below that is my filing cabinet that holds all of my secrets. Moving on from there, hopefully this isn't too dark. Ooh. I'll bring this extra light with me just in case. So this is one of my little cubbies. This is my miniature art studio. So as you can see here, print from Kyle Cross. I think these two are both from Valters, and that one is from Reflect Media. Those came off the HP printer, just with some decent photo paper. And get my drink out of there. So yeah, this is where I store all of my batteries and my chargers. This is actually an old like draining rack for like kitchen utensils and stuff. But I have all my batteries there, I have all my chargers, and I've got a big charging block. So that way I have room to put everything that I need to put and get it charged. Next to this, once again on that Vipon website, this is like I think you're supposed to use it for socks or underwear or something, but it has all of my cables in it. I don't know if there's anything metal here that I can, no, I can't. This actually has a magnet on it, which is super cool. But one of the things that's in here that I recently kind of came on to from GC, who was in my podcast the other week, are these Velcro Zip Wraps. These are outstanding. They're super cheap. I will see if I remember put a link down in the Amazon thing, comments section, describe. Anyways, yeah, so that is That's kind of just where I keep all of my cables all the time. They're all wrapped up, so if I have to travel, I just grab it and go. It's good to go. The one extension cord that's going on right now back there, it's actually going up to the light that's up top, which is super bright. But anyways, that's yeah, this is kind of this area. This is, it's right next to my desk, so when I want to work, I don't know why I'm pointing at my water bottle again. So when I want to work, I just flip around just like that. All my shit's there, and yeah, I'm good to go. I don't really have to move around too much, and all my charging things are there. One cool tip, you might notice that all of my batteries have elastic bands on them. Those are the ones that are charged. That way I know as soon as the elastic band comes off, that battery has been used and I can't trust it. So yeah, what you will see is this wood is burnt wood. I literally just took a blowtorch to it and then sealed it in. And I don't know, looks pretty cool. Below that is just random junk and random shit that I don't know where to put. I try to keep one of these spaces where I just put random junk. I find if you have one space for random junk and everything else fairly well organized, you will keep all of your random junk just in one small area. So moving on. Okay, so just kind of up and to the right of that are just a few cubbies. I keep stuff that I kind of just like grab and go. So extra ink cartridges, there's some paper back there, tablet. One of the Pelican cases I use for the gimbal is there. A couple other boxes, I probably should tidy this up a bit more, but generally things that I need on a semi-regular basis. Same thing back here, just like a travel bag and some cases for lights and stuff. I like bags. I keep bags. There's a bunch more bags over here. I'll show you in a sec. And then one up from there are cameras. Keeping it on the cheap stuff. These are two little knockoff action cams. They are not amazing by any means, but if you destroy it, who cares? One of the first cameras that I ever got, so this little point and shoot SX620 HS. There is a G7X as well, but it's currently out on loan. This I got at a garage sale and I like it. GH4, so the camera that is not recording, is my other Panasonic. Another amazing budget starter camera. Check out my video on gear to get drifting or film drifting. I explain that a little bit more, and normally my GH5 would sit there, but there's just a quick release. And then up from there are this old Canon lens that I talked about in that same video as well. Its adapter. These ring extenders, which are super cool if you want to do macro stuff. I tried it. It was like 15 bucks for this adapter, so I said screw it. And then my other real workhorse lens, my 45-200. So love this. And then normally my lights are here. I've got one. I don't know if it does have batteries. Probably should use this to help light up things. This is just an Aperture big LED light. Works good for most things. It's super heavy, but yeah, this could be an on-camera light, but it would be very, very heavy. Right now I just have a ring light on the go, which I also got from Vipon, super cheap. And then up here is kind of my more random selection, but still need on a very regular basis. Travel mouse, wireless mic setup. Obviously this is your case for SD cards, some audio recorders, mic, normally the mic, this one is up there as well. And then my Mavic Mini drone stuff is there. And then what do you call these things again? Funko Pop or something? Caustic from Apex Legends. My son is a massive Apex Legends fan, and I play it as well. I dabble. But anyways, yeah, so drone, Mavic Mini. I'll probably be talking about this in a video, maybe. Super great. Love it. Yeah. Oh.
Should I go get it?
Yeah, I hit it. Oh, I hit it hard. Oh, no. Go get it. Go get it. Oh, man. Fuck. And then, yeah, kind of over from here. This is one of those like cheap over-the-shoulder rigs that I just can't throw out because we used to use it and it was super fun. Glide cam. And yeah, that's, nothing crazy. I recommend everybody get them. And then after that, it's just some bags. So, this is like a battery and charging bag. This is my old kind of travel bag, laptop bag, and my new big travel bag. So yeah, some more fun stuff kind of with the lighting. So this is another Aperture light that I got on sale that I've been trying to use to light this place up. Like I said, it's very dark in here, so I apologize. Another one is this Aperture MC light, which is a little RGB light that does multiple colors and effects and stuff. It's magnetic, it's super strong, it charges wirelessly. I actually have, good thing that light's cheap. I actually have where is it? It's somewhere. a piece of metal up there so I can stick it, and that's how I got that blue effect in the intro and outro. So yeah, cool little thing that I put in there. I think I just killed my tripod. You know what? It was really cheap anyways. Oh, that's why, because I'm sitting on the cord. Besides that, up here, I know I said I only have one space for junk, but here's another space for junk. Yeah, the one thing that is up here that I would highly recommend is one of these universal chargers that does a little bit of everything, USB port on it. If you're traveling, if you are doing anything with batteries, this has been an absolute lifesaver. I've spent half decent money on it and super happy that I did. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what else. I guess we can talk about the things that I do spend money on, and obviously the big one is that big boy. So that is a Republic of Gamers 34-inch ultra-wide curved monitor. I just recently picked that up, and the main reason for it was just editing. Obviously, so as I do more editing, I do need to invest in things that are going to make that so much easier, and that's what that is. And when I talked about building this office really cheap, I bet you, other than the main kind of key items being like the monitor and the computer, everything else in here is just kind of recycled wherever I could. I bought a lot of things at restores and like those construction surplus places and all that stuff whenever I could. There's no reason not to for stuff like hooks and hangers and stain and shit like that. You know, I mean, even I've got like a magnet strip that I got from there. Super cheap. So yeah, even the sound deadening is just leftover stuff. Old curtains from the restore, insulation people were going to throw out that I just shoved in there. A big hunk of fleece. At the bottom, you know, I've got one of those like plastic rolly things, but beneath that is like a car liner that I got on sale somewhere that goes in like the back of your SUV so that way your dogs don't screw it up. So the other part that I'm investing in, and I think you should invest in as well, especially if you're doing editing, is going to be something good for editing. So yeah, obviously I invested in a really good monitor recently, and I'm also investing in a really good PC. You know, we've got some M2 SSDs there, B450 board. I'm sure this is going to anger a few people. And actually in this box, maybe I can show you quickly without showing my address. Not that I think any of you guys are going to come get me, but turn it. Oh, now it's blown out. Can we get it perfect? And it's sideways. There we go. So, yeah, AMD Ryzen 9 3900. A couple other things here, some boxes. Like I said, I collect bags and boxes and stuff, but see, obviously that PC is not going to be cheap, but I'm very excited to build it, and we are going to do more on it. But like I said, you don't need to spend a lot of money to build an office. Use whatever you can, whatever you have, whatever you can get recycled or anything else. I'm not like one of those big recycling hippies, but why not, right? Like when stain is $2 and insulation is $3 or $4 and old brackets are like 50 cents each, like you don't need a crazy awesome shelf to hold gear like that. It's cool if you can, but if you just need to put things up, I find as many vertical surfaces as you can use as possible. Try not to put things on horizontal surfaces because they just gather clutter. But yeah, you can really do things on the cheap if you want to. Just kind of have to think about it a little bit and go, okay, what do I actually need to expend money on? Same thing, like, you know, I do most of my editing with headphones on, so I'm going to spend better money on headphones than I am speakers because I'm in the basement and my wife doesn't need to hear, my kids don't need to hear what I'm doing at like 3 in the morning. You know, originally I bought just a gaming computer and that worked great for what I was doing, but now that I want to edit stuff in like 8K and not be held back by my computer anymore, be able to do whatever I want to do, now it's the time to do that. In the beginning, it would have been cool to do it in the beginning, don't get me wrong, but I learned with this, and I learned how to edit 4K by having to like proxy things and move cache files around and all these weird tips and tricks to get things to work. Same thing with the screen. Like I spent a whole bunch of time with just a VGA screen just to have a second one because the laptop one was good. But now I'm being limited by that, by not having enough space and not be able to see colors correctly and color grade things and make sure that things are in balance, even though I know this video won't be because, like I said, the lighting in here is shit because I'm in the basement. So yeah, basically what I'm trying to get at is you don't have to spend a shit ton of money to build an office. Just do it. Just make it happen. Start somewhere. Peck away at things as you can. All right, guys, thanks again for watching Everything Pistonhead Productions. Hopefully you got some insight, maybe some ideas of things that you can do with what I've shown you today. I tried to record this the best I could, but the lighting in here is not great, so I apologize if it's not super awesome, but just wanted to give you guys kind of a perspective as to what goes on here, how I do everything, and if I can, show you guys anything and you take something away from it, awesome. I'm all the happier. So thank you again, guys, for watching everything Piston Productions. Make sure to check out the videos. There'll be little pop-up dealy things that come up. Make sure to check out the Piston Podcast, Instagram, and make sure to stay tuned for that PC build I was talking about, because that's going to be super cool, and I'm really excited to do that, and be cool to get Clayton back on and stuff. So thanks again, guys, for watching, and we will catch you next time.